Ethics is the study of right and wrong, guiding behavior based on principles like fairness, honesty, and respect. It helps us make morally acceptable decisions, contributing positively to the world. It's a Greek word. Its Greek word is ethikos. Ethics provides a framework for evaluating actions and encourages us to be our best selves. The genesis of ethics is rooted back to Socrates and Aristotle. It has evolved over 2000 years and enriched by philosophers and in cultural texts like the Bhagavad Gita. It has branched into domains such as virtue ethics, business ethics, care ethics, reflecting diverse perspective. Features are normative ethics is a normative science prescribing standards for moral behavior. It is subjective as moral perspectives vary due to cultural, religious, and personal factors. Elements of ethics are belief, attitude, moral principles, and values. Branches of ethics are descriptive ethics. It analyzes people's moral beliefs, values, and behaviors without judgment. And okay, using methods like surveys or interviews to understand existing models. Normative ethics are also known as prescriptive ethics. It goes beyond describing existing moral beliefs. It focuses on making moral judgments and prescribing how individuals and society should behave based on ethical principles. Deontological ethics, example is Mahatma Gandhi. He focused more on the method. Teleological ethics, example is Netaji Subhash Chandra Bose. He focused more on the end result. Virtue ethics, Dr. Devi Prasad Shetty, example. He focused more on like his virtue was important. He said he will do what he feels is right. So, yeah, in virtue of it, the virtue is the moral behavior of a person or individual. Now, metaethics deals with broader questions related with study of ethics. Applied ethics deals with study of controversial moral issues. Now, what are moral principles? They are fundamental guidelines that dictate right and wrong. They shape ethical decision-making behavior, influencing individual societal norms. Example is loyalty and sanctity. 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 Right. Absolute moral principles are universal truths about nature of human beings. Relative moral principles are based on opinion that may change over time from person to person. Okay, universal and changing universal truth. Okay. Now, what is morality? Morality guides human behavior by defining principles of right and wrong within society or within societies or individuals. Difference between morality and moral principles. Morality encompasses broad beliefs and norms, while moral principles are specific guidelines within that framework. Moral principles are concrete and actionable. Morality includes cultural, religious, and personal beliefs. Morality is expressed through adherence to principles and societal norms, while moral principles are decision making. What are values? Values are the core convictions that shape individuals' perspective, priorities, and actions in various aspects of life. They serve as a moral compass, guiding choices and shaping character and identity. Terminal values represent ultimate decisions in life. Instrumental values are the means or methods used to achieve terminal values. Relationship between terminal and instrumental values are terminal values are the desired outcome, while instrumental are the behaviors or path taken. Personal values, these are deeply held convictions, shape individuals' perceptions, interaction, and decision across life of problems. So the major personal values are egocentric value, prioritizing own self desires over collective concerns; sociocentric values, emphasizing fitting into societal norms and more; tribalistic value, prioritizing loyalty to a group or community; deontic value, prioritizing adherence to moral principles and duty, like Mahatma Gandhi. Okay. The beliefs. Beliefs mean having the knowledge or information. Formation of belief. Okay. commendatory belief. It is trust and respected individuals' work can lead to a commendatory belief. Um, Existential belief, beliefs about phenomena like ghosts formed in childhood. Influence of role models can be beliefs can be adopted by admired figures. Internalization from others, they can be internalized during formative years. Life changes, sudden life changes can cause adoption of new beliefs. Moral state, belief can depend on the believer's moral state. Core beliefs are relatively permanent, while dispositional beliefs are more changeable. Knowledge. Only justified belief is knowledge. Justified beliefs encompass two types of judgments: direct or intuitive judgment or derived judgment. Okay. Uh, uh, Difference between moral principle and belief. Moral principles are specifically refer to fundamental rules or guidelines that dictate what is wrong or right. Beliefs encompass a broad range of attitudes or state of mind in which an individual accepts something as true or real. Moral principles apply to ethical consideration and guide behavior in areas such as justice, fairness, etc. Beliefs include factual information, religious tenets, and personal opinions. Moral principles are prescriptive in nature, often offering guidelines for ethical behavior. Beliefs in general may not necessarily prescribe specific actions or behavior. They may describe one's understanding or acceptance of a particular idea without necessarily guiding conduct. Attitude. Attitude represents likes and dislikes of a person. It is a learned predisposition of behavior. Okay, now ABC model is A means affective component, emotional aspect of your belief, behavioral component, verbal expression of the intention of individual, cognitive component, this component is rational. Difference between attitude and behavior. Attitude are internal sentiments while behaviors are outward expressions. Attitude may not always translate directly into behavior, leading to gap between what one feels and how one acts. Behavior is directly observable while attitudes are inferred from verbal and non-verbal cues. Okay. Next is theories of ethics. The importance of right character among human beings, and to Socrates, virtue is knowledge and virtue is a relative concept. Plato's cardinal virtue, they are wisdom, courage, temperance, and justice. Aristotle's classification of values are intellectual and moral values. Difference between values and virtues. Values are the principles or standards that are considered important. Virtues are qualities that are considered to be good or desirable in a person. All values may not be desirable or have moral goodness. Okay, virtue have high moral values. Values are subjective and personal since individual can decide what is important to him or her. Virtue are qualified qualities that are universally accepted. Golden mean theory, it was given by Aristotle, followed the middle course between excess and deficiency. Theological theory, it was given by Greek philosophers, in particular Aristotle. Theology is derived from telos, which means the end or consequence. Utilit, utilit, ut- Utilitarianism theory, it focuses on greatest good of the greatest number of social welfare is the sum of the well-being of all individuals. Egoism, human actions are essentially egocentric and selfish. Consequentialism theory, it is an end-based theory. If the consequences are good, then it can be recommended for implementation. Pluralistic consequentialism, it considers multiple intrinsic goods, including happiness, knowledge, friendship, etc. In moral evaluation, unlike classical utili- utilitarianism, utilitarianism that solely focuses on happiness. Now, okay, contractarianism theory of ethics. It holds that moral principles derive from hypothetical agreements among rational individuals pursuing self-interest for beneficial social order. Key features are hypothetical social contract. It posits that individuals prior to societal organization would collectively agree upon a set rules to govern behavior for mutual benefit. Rational self-interest, ethical rules under contractualism stems from individuals' rational self-interest, assuming actions aims to maximize personal well-being. Yeah, Rani. Deontological theory. It judges action based on adherence to principles or rules rather than their outcomes, derives from a Greek word meaning duty and study. Deontology prioritizes moral duties over consequences. It is duty centered and universal principles are there. Immanuel Kant, an influential 19th century player, made significant contribution to deontological ethics. His ethical theory is known as Kantian deontology, centers around the concepts of categorical imperative. Meaning, categorical imperative means uh, it mandates action based on universal principles without contradiction. It requires individual to act only according to maxims that would be universally applied. Act utilitarianism is concerned with those actions which will bring great benefit to people. Rule utilitarianism, which gives direction to act utilitarianism. Rights are entitlement or empowerment to do certain things. There are two perspectives of right, Kantian perspective and Rawlsian perspective of John Rawls. Kantian perspective tells us that humans have intrinsic value due to their rational nature and inherent dignity. Rights stem from respecting each person as an end in themselves, not merely a means to an end. Okay. Rawlsian perspective given by John Rawls tells us intrinsic values lies in the ability to achieve justice through free and fair distribution. Difference between rights and duties. Rights are entitlements or claims, and duties are obligations or responsibilities. Types of right: legal, constitutional, and fundamental rights. Duties are moral obligation. These are generally three classes of duties: duties to self, duties to others, and duties to God. W. D. Ross gave us seven duties: fidelity, meaning upholding honesty and trust in all situations; justice, gratitude; repartition, meaning providing compensation for harm or injury inflicted upon others; beneficence, acting with kindness and compassion towards others, like contributing to the reduction or elimination of suffering; non-malice, avoid causing harm to others through non-violent means, fostering equal love and positive relationships with everyone; self-improvement, continuously strive for personal growth and moral development. Individuals receive their due according to established laws and ethical norms, whether in wages, education, justice demands impartiality and transparency. There are two kinds of justice. Absolute justice, it is an ideal standard of fairness, often associated with divine moral principles. Okay, next is relative justice. It suggests that fairness is subjective and varies based on circumstances. It recognizes that what may be fair for one person may not be perceived by same by others. Equality means providing equal benefits and opportunities regardless of a difference. Says equity involves fairness in distributing support based on their needs rather than factors. Justice ensures that fair treatment based on established laws or ethical standards, ensuring individuals receive what is due to them. Now, types of justice are procedural justice, action has been performed by complying to the law; commutative justice, where fairness or justice is ensured at the beginning; compensatory justice, by compensation; retributive justice, by punishment to the defaulter; communitarian justice, by a justice to a particular community suffering in the past from injustice; distributive justice, it is to treat equal people equally and unequal people unequally. Now, theories of justice. The utilitarian theory does the greatest good of greatest number. Egalitarian theory of justice, equality in the matter of distribution of burdens and benefits, importance to absolute equality, and this theory seems to give importance to absolute equality. Okay, capitalist theory, everybody should receive the benefits according to his contribution. Marxian theory, needs should include not only the individual's needs but also the social needs. Surplus value, the greater the surplus value, the greater the degree of exploitation. Capital accumulation means centralization of capital and concentration of action. Criticism for Marx's idea is that workers should be given need-based wage has not been accepted on economic grounds. Now, socialist theory, the abolition of conflicts or social properties are held by the state or labor is socialized. Difference between socialism and communism. Ownership. Socialism can be state, worker, or mixed ownership. Uh, Communism has collective ownership. Role of the state. Socialism has strong central government. Communism envisions a stateless society with the state eventually disappearing. John Rawls' theory, equal liberty for all citizens, equality of opportunities for everybody, or some amount of inequality is permitted. Libertarian theory, uh, uh, thinking is the motto is from each according to his choice and to each according to what he has chosen. Gandhian concept of justice, natural, universal justice is based on right. There are six types of justice: pure justice, social justice, satanic justice, claim to natural rights, no harm to opponent party, and absence of duress. Okay. Next is ethics. Business ethics. It involves applying moral principles within business realm to assess conduct. Why ethical problems occur in business? Because people personal gain and selfish interest, competitive pressure on profits, or influence of top management. Now, the scope is personal, association, and societal. Okay. Now, importance is mm, profitable integrity and preventing unfair practices. The approaches to business ethics are okay. So, first is profit-based approach. The profit-based modality approach in business ethics posits that financial success and ethical conduct are interconnected. This approach highlights the need to balance profitability goals with ethical values for sustained business success. Law-based approach. Law-based morality approach asserts that adherence to a country's law reflects moral principles. Classical views on business ethics. Classical and neoclassical views on business ethics saw ethics as irrelevant as supporting unrestricted capitalism. Albert Card's approach to business ethics prioritizes often profit maximization, even endorsing deception as acceptable within business contexts. Natural laws approach to business ethics. There are five principles. Veracity principle, like businesses should always adhere to the truth. Non-injury or no harm principle, must avoid causing harm to others. Fairness or honesty principle, should maintain honesty in all their dealings. Human rights principle, must uphold and respect human rights. Autonomy principle, they should not infringe upon individuals' freedom of choice regarding goods and services. Okay, now next are the principles of business ethics: commitment to excellence, law abiding, honesty, respect for others, loyalty, accountability, reputation in morale, leadership, fairness, concern for others, integrity, promise keeping. The major unethical issues in business are sexual harassment at workplace, forced bonded labor, health safety in workplace. The ethical issues in marketing and advertisements are unethical practices in marketing, like not showing honesty in marketing transaction, not taking responsibility for goods sold, deceptive advertising, and privacy concern, not charging fair prices. Ethical issues in finance and accounting is insider trading, and financial irregularities also include cheating of employees. Ethical issues in human resource management is unexpected layout and firing of employees. Sometimes privacy is not allowed. Discriminatory policies in recruitment or promotion. Creating a culture of ethics, establish written policies or provide ethics training. Rules of the board of directors in creating an ethical environment. They should understand ethical culture, evaluate business strategies, monitor ethical risks, and verify ethics and compliance system. Within different relationships. Now, there are two domains: esoteric care and exoteric care. Esoteric care is related to one's near and dear ones. Exoteric care is shown to people outside the domain of family and friends. Views on care ethics. Marilyn Friedman's views: the ethical principles of care must be integrated with those of justice. She contrasts to ethical decision making approaches. Justice based reasoning emphasizes fairness and equal treatment, focusing on impartiality and equity. Care-based reasoning prioritizes love, compassion, and empathy, considering others' needs and relationships in decision making. Nell Noddings, giving care does not mean negation of liberty, and Mary Midgley's modernity begins and grows with our natural affections for family and friends. Now, the criticism for care ethics are application of care ethics is likely to give rise to discrimination, inequality, and even injustice. Yeah. Next is what are the other main theories of ethics. The cognitivism versus non-cognitivism. Cognitivism means believing in clear objective criteria for distinguishing right and wrong. Non-cognitivism means argues that ethical judgment lack clear objective standards. Rule-based ethics should be based on certain rules. Ethical relativism, ethical norms are not equally applicable to all societies. It does not lay emphasis on the, but this theory does not lay emphasis on the universal moral standard. Ethical pluralism, it integrates all ethical theories. Ethical objectivism, universal moral principles that are valid for all people. Hedonism, this tells us pleasure is the highest good, the supreme ideal of life. Psychological hedonism is constructed in such a way that we exclusively desire pleasure. And ethical hedonism means fundamental moral obligation is to maximize pleasure or happiness. Now, in ethical hedonism, there is gross hedonism, which gives weightage to the sensuous pleasures, and refined hedonism, which gives weightage to mental pleasures. Ethical intuitionism, goodness or badness can be sensed. Ethical emotivism, moral claims are no more than expressions of approval or disapproval. Ethical supernaturalism, ethics is inseparable from religion. Ethical prescriptivism, ethics statements are instructions or recommendation. Ethical realism, truth does not depend on anyone's particular opinions, belief, preference, or characteristic. Next is what are the roles of board of directors? Knowing the health of company's ethical culture, evaluating ethics of business strategy, monitoring real ethics risk in an organization, monitoring the ethical behavior of the leadership team, verifying that the elements of care, ethics, compliance, our system are strong. Now, difference between code of conduct and code of ethics. From these working in public service, Code of Ethics contain declaration of values for civil services which reflect public expectations. Code of Conduct are a set of guidelines. Code of Ethics are a set of principles. Code of Conduct is narrow in its ambit. Code of Ethics are wider in nature and compared to the Code of Conduct. Code of Conduct might list several specific laws relevant different type or level of employee within the same organization. A particular code of ethics might state that all employees will obey the law. Code of conduct decides punctuality, language, and public speaking, which reflects good conduct. It reflects the value. Code of ethics reflects the value of civil servant who would upload his decisions. Now, types of ethical dilemma. It can be either between ethically right or ethically wrong. It can be either between two ethically wrong or maybe between two ethically right. Now, ethical subjectivism. Subjectivism teaches that moral judgment are nothing more than statements of a person's feelings or attitudes. Okay. Ethical absolutism. Ethical view that all actions are intrinsically right or wrong.